So this is how I book about 100 to 150 calls every single month through cold email alone. So I mean, a lot of people about every single month, 100 to 150. They all really share the same three qualities. Number one, never heard of cold email, don't know what to do. They want more leads, so we do it for them, right? Number two are the types of people who are doing some kind of cold emails, not really working. And then we go in, we just do it for them, right? Number three are the types of people who are doing cold emails, working well, but they don't really have time to be responding to these leads all the time. So we go in, we do it for them, we run it for them, right? Because of the first two, the prompted me to make this video. So I realized a lot of people are just genuinely having problems running cold email, a lot of technicals within it. So this will be a very simple guide. It really is not that hard to do cold email, guys. By the way, it's really not that hard. Follow these steps, and you should be good to go. Just for some context, this image right here is pretty much from my own calendar. This is what my calendar looks like on a very regular basis. Next week, uh, next week, and goes on, right? So you get the point. So booking calls really is not that hard for us. Even if you're closing at a very low percentage, even single digit percentage, you can still close some clients just off booking this many calls, right? Obviously, this is an extreme. You guys probably don't need to book 150 every single month, but it works. Cold email works. All you really need as a B2B business is really just cold email. So we'll go ahead and dive into it. First is going to be the 20, 30, 50 rule. So what this means is 20% when you're doing any type of cold email, 20% of your efforts should be ensuring that the list building goes well. 30% should be ensuring the script writing goes well. The other 50% should be ensuring your deliverability goes well. So a lot of people say this is surprisingly high. People would most likely think that maybe script writing, your copy is actually more important, or maybe your list is more important. It's really not true. So no matter how good your list is, no matter how good your script is, if it's going to land in spam, right? It's no one is going to be able to see it. If it's going to land in spam, people are not going to see it in their inbox, right? And no matter how good your offer is, it's just not going to work. So ensuring deliverability, believe it or not, is the hardest part. So we'll go ahead and dive into each one of these to show you guys what you guys should be doing to ensure these. But first step is going to be about list building, right? Lots of data does not mean more accurate data. So you can pull a list of like 100,000 leads, but if only like 20% of those people are qualified, there's no point in doing something like that, right? And I'll show you guys how to ensure it is as accurate as possible. So all these databases you see are the main ones we use. We use a lot of different ones, but we use mainly these ones. Crunchbase for software companies. Local brick and mortar is more Google Maps, right? Clutch would be more like agencies, business services, stuff like that. E-commerce companies will be on store leads. Same with BuildWith, but just BuildWith is really good for detecting any kind of software that a company is using on their landing page. So this could be like a social login, any type of like meta pixel stuff like that, where they're already running some kind of meta ads. Amazon for like Amazon sellers and stuff like that, right? But all these databases, they're only good at what they're just trying to do best, right? Apollo is really, really good at finding people's contact information, but really, really bad at categorizing specifically which company type you want to talk to, right? For example, Crunchbase, they have a lot of software data. That's what they're known for. But you're not going to go to Google Maps to find software companies, right? You're really going to pull information from Crunchbase about the company information. You're not really going to find a great contacts on there, at least not abundant enough. Same with store leads, right? You're going to find a lot of information on the store type. So it could be apparel brands. It could be they're pulling in X amount of sales every single month. But how do we actually get these people contact information? It goes through Apollo. So I'll go ahead and show you guys a live example. If it decides to load it, there we go. So pretty much, let's say for this example, what we're trying to look for are companies in the US who are like medical practices. So like clinics, dentists, plastic surgeons, med spas, orthopedics, whatever, right? It's just a pretty small example. The industry being these three, right? They're in the United States. They have 1 to 100 employees, and those are the people you want to talk to, right? But I'll go ahead and show you guys why going through industry and keywords, which a lot of people do, is not really going to work too well for you, right? When we go through this website specifically, let's look at Anchor Health right here. You go through the website, and let's take a quick look real quick on what they do. So convert patient calls and messages into billable clinic visits with one click, right? This right here is not a medical practice. This is a SaaS product. This is a software product. This company is probably going to be on Crunchbase, right? This company right here is not necessarily who you want to target with whatever offer you want to give them, whatever product you want to offer, like AI with telehealth. Like this is not an actual medical practice, right? So what we want to do is how do we actually get these medical practices? So I'll go ahead and pull up another example right here. The solution, and don't use industry. If you don't use industry and keywords right here, the solution is going to be this box right here. You're going to click on company and lookalikes, and you're going to go click on include exclude list of companies. This box right here will allow you to contain up to about 10,000 company websites of the businesses that you actually want to talk to. So the question is, how do we actually get these 10,000 websites without going insane, right? But I'll show you guys a smaller example. If you want to go through Apollo to find those plastic surgery places, it wasn't working, right? Because Anchor Health popped up. If you go to Google Maps and you actually search up plastic surgery on Google Maps, I'm willing to bet you're probably going to find an actual plastic surgeon, right? Because you're going to Google Maps. Like for example, if you're trying to go find plastic surgeons on Crunchbase, right? You're just going to find a software company like this, which is not who you want to talk to. You want to talk to actual plastic surgeons, right? So let's just take this example right here. Let's go to their website, which is right here. What we want to do, right? Make sure you're on the homepage. You want to take down the website domain. You want to take the website of this company. Like if you actually look at the website, this is like in-person consultation. This is actually a plastic surgeon. This is a literal doctor right here, right? So it's a plastic surgeon. So we paste it into here, this box right here where we showed it earlier. You click save and search, and then now that it pops up, the company information actually pops up, right? You can look at the industry and keywords right here. It's almost the same as the keywords that we apply to over here. But the problem was this is not an actual software company, right? You go to find people, and then there it is. This is the CEO right here. David, this is the CEO of that plastic surgery company, right? So my point to you is you want to go to multiple databases to actually think about who you want to target, right? You want to target software companies. Let's not pull from actually Apollo. We can pull from Crunchbase. If you want to find local brick and mortar, you want to go to Google Maps, right? Manufacturing, anything of the sort, like plumbing, anything of that sort, like restaurants, stuff like that. Four walls in between, an actual door you can walk inside of and get their service, pay for their services. Those people, Google Maps, Yellow Pages, Better Business Bureau, there's a ton of it out there, right? Essentially, this is how we want to actually ensure the accuracy of the data that we're targeting, right? But that's it, right? We find contact information on Apollo, and then you go to different databases to find the actual company types you want to talk to. But this step right here is going to be about script writing. Now, this is the step that I see most people will always overthink. They always overthink the step. They think it's the copy that makes everybody want your product, but that's not really true. Um, there's no such thing as an email script in this world that's going to be like, hey, this guy does not want your product, but after receiving your cold email, they're going to all of a sudden want your product, right? They're not looking for it. If they're not looking for a specific solution that you're offering, they're just not going to be interested, right? What you want to be doing is just going straight to the point. So we'll go through this bad script right here to show you exactly why this is bad. And this is what, like a common email script that I see a lot of people are also using. So it goes, hi, Dave. I know you're a busy person, so I don't want to waste your time. So this line right here, when they see this line, just read this line. Like if they don't read any of this, they're going to see this line and they're going to realize it's a cold email, right? They're not going to actually think, okay, this is like a coworker or stuff like that. This is going to be a cold email. You're not getting to the point. And it's very hypocritical because why are you saying I don't want to waste your time? But at the same time, you just wasted their time by saying, I don't want to waste your time, right? It's a hypocritical statement. People will smell a cold email from a mile away now. It's 2025, right? People will know this, right? My name is John Doe, and I'm reaching out from Acme Solutions, a leading provider of next-gen holistic cloud native AI-powered cold email platform that leverage big data, analytics, and machine learning to drive exponential growth and digital transformation across your organization's ecosystem. So what even is this, right? Like what am I even offering at this point? Like they're gonna read this and they're gonna be like, so what do you do? They're not gonna know what you're offering, right? What we want to do is get straight to the point. Like think about cold emailing this to a, I don't know, like an older type of business, like an older gen business, like a manufacturing business, a plumbing business. These people are not technical people, right? You start going and say data analytics, machine learning, they're gonna click off. They're not gonna be interested in something like this. They have no idea what you're offering. Do you really think that these people will receive these emails? They're gonna actually read it? No, they're not really going to, right? And then the step right here is going to be the features part, which I hate the most. Our platform features real-time dashboards with customizable widgets, seamless integration with RESTful APIs, webhooks with Zapier, and then encryption, whatever, right? And blockchain, whatever. Advanced AI script personalization, right? Um, any of these features, right? A lot of people like to throw in the features of their products as like the value proposition. But what we don't want to do is this: we don't want to say the features. We want to say the results that you can bring to a business because of the features. You can say, because of these features, we can bring you 2x ROI, 30% increase in conversion rate. I don't know, X amount of time saved, right? We don't want to send in something like that. It's also at the same time, it's like cold email, the way it works is a very one-to-one conversation, right? You don't want these two people to think it's like an email blast or anything like that, or non-conversational. Anything like this where it's like bullet points, right? People are gonna, it's not normal, it's not natural sounding, right? You want it to sound like an actual conversation one person is having with another person, right? So we don't want to put bullet points in there, because I mean, imagine real life conversation. No one's gonna go into bullet point form and start describing this stuff. Like, they're gonna say, hey, my platform is going to bring X result to your business, not the features to your business. It's the X results to someone's business, right? So let's schedule a quick 30-minute call to discuss. So what we don't want to do is pitch a call on the first email. These people are random strangers. They've never ever met you, and you are a complete cold email in their inbox, right? You don't want to immediately ask for a time commitment. There's different ways to phrase it. You can only just gauge your interest. So it should be a very binary yes or no. Let's schedule a quick 30-minute call to discuss. We don't want to do that, right? Too much of a commitment. How we can discuss how we can optimize your synergies, which honestly, don't ever use synergies, because what does that even mean, right? And maximize your ROI. So when you say something like ROI, most definitely you need to put metrics in there, as in what is the ROI. You don't want to just say we can increase your ROI. Like, we can give you a positive ROI. We don't want to say that. We want to do actual percentages, numbers, metrics, anything like that, where they can actually like metric or a measure of, right? Are you available this week or next, right? Anything like this, we don't want to ask if they're available this week or next, right? We want to definitely say, like, are you interested? That's it. That's it. So we don't want to ask, are you available this time on the very first email. We don't want to do that, right? All of this email I just showed you right here is way too long. People are going to see this long email. Most of them are not going to read it. They're not going to read this whole paragraph right here. You should aim to keep your all of your cold emails under 50 words. So under or ballpark. If it's 60, it's not going to kill you, right? But essentially, you want to be very, very quick, to a point where people can skim it and then realize very, very quickly in the next 2 seconds of reading, right, whether or not they're interested in your product or not. So I'll go ahead and show you guys a good script. Objectively good is, our system can book you 15 to 20 qualified sales calls on on complete automation. Would that be worth a chat? Very simple, one sentence, right? They're going to read this email. They'll realize, okay, they sell a system that's going to book me 15 to 20 qualified sales calls on automation, which means I don't need to lift a finger. And the sales calls can be around 15 to 20, right? That's interesting to me, because I want to book more sales calls, right? They'll just be like, yes, that's worth a chat. But when we say worth a chat, that doesn't mean they have to hop on a Zoom call with us, or like a Google Meet call, whatever, right? It could be communicated through email. It could be communicated through phone call. It could be through text. It could be anything, right? But essentially, the very first email, you want to always just gauge their interest in a very binary way. Yes, I'm interested. No, I'm not interested, right? Would that be worth a chat? Very simple. They would be like, yes, I'm interested, or yes, it's worth a chat. That's it, right? And then you pitch the call. That's when you pitch the call, when they're responding to you, who are interested. Next step, this is a step that pretty much is the longest. Everybody always complicates this, but essentially, a lot of people will miss a step, and no matter how good your scripts are, no matter how good your targeting of the lead lists are, it doesn't matter if it's going to spam, right? It's very simple. It's not going to matter. So what we're going to say is, hi Dave, if our system can book you this many, whatever, right? This is the same script that we had it right above us. If you send exactly this to every single prospect, it's going to land in spam, because Google and Outlook, they're going to know that this is a cold email, right? This is an email that's blasting to every single person. If you're sending cold emails at like 500 cold emails per hour, they're going to know you're not a human. So what we don't want to do is send the exact same script to everyone. We want to put some variation on there. So this is basic as well. So if we're saying this is what a Spintax version of this email script looks like. So this script is exactly what we're saying here, but different ways of saying it, right? Very important that we do this. When we have a format like this, we're saying, hey, we're saying, hi, Dave. or we want to say hey Dave, or we want to say hello Dave, right? We're telling the system to either send hi Dave, or either send hey Dave, or send hello Dave. And it's the same with every single system here. So as you can see, this is pretty much, it doesn't even look like a human language anymore. It doesn't even look like human language anymore. It just looks like blabbing, right? This doesn't look like human at all. But what it's going to come out to be is a natural, it's a natural looking email script that has different variations of how we say it. If you put it like this, you're going to have much better deliverability, right? But spin tax is not the only thing that you should worry about. After you spin tax every single email script, you want to check for spam words. So you want to take that exact script right there. You want to put it into something like this. So Mailmeter, they have a free spam checker. You guys can check it out. I'll put it in the description. But what it really is let's say for example, right? You see sales call, right? The word sales is definitely like it's a spam word, like it's a shady word, right? We want to have as less as this as possible. So we want to change this. Maybe we want to say like, prospect calls or something like that. Like if we say open to a chat, oh, even open is shady, right? Maybe we don't want to say open. We want to say something else, right? But if you say like call, let's see, call is actually a spam word. So this goes to prove my point further. Don't say call, right? Just definitely don't say call. If you say call, it's just going to be an urgency keyword, which is 10 times worse than just a shady keyword. Don't Make sure you check the step, right? Remove all the keywords as you can. Sometimes you just can't, and it's okay, but you want to remove it as much as possible to ensure deliverability. Website's right here, but pretty much this is the last step. This is the kind of the holy grail within the whole email world. It is kind of new. It is not very talked about publicly just yet. As in, you can probably find an article on it if you really look it up on Google, but it's not common knowledge just yet, right? Like most cold emailers, what I see them are doing, most of them, what they're doing is simply just, let's say, oh, maybe it's Outlook sending to Outlook Outlook inboxes that will have better deliverability. Maybe it's Gmail sending to other Gmail accounts that's going to have better deliverability. Or maybe it's the other way around. Maybe it's Outlook to Gmail, right? In reality, none of that stuff matters. It does not actually matter which provider you use. It doesn't matter if you're using a private provider. It doesn't matter if you're using a public infrastructure like Outlook or Google. It doesn't matter. The only thing that matters that can really, really determine your deliverability is going to be the public email sequencer. So this diagram right here is a very high level version of kind of what I'm trying to portray you guys. But essentially, when you're sending on a public email sequencer, which is, by the way, any of these, there's more, by the way. This is not the only ones they are. Like Instantly is very popular, Smartly as well. You can send emails on Apollo. HubSpot, honestly, is just a CRM. It's not really even made for cold email, but a lot of people still do it anyway. But essentially, any of these public email sequencers, they all share one thing in common. They're sharing a same public server for sending emails. So public email sequencer is sending emails on a public server / IP address, right? When you're doing something like that, a scammer who is also sending also sending cold emails is going to be sending on the same server as same as you. So you and the scammer sending on the same public server, right? To these same leads, right? The Outlook and Google, when they see something like this, they're going to want to block out the scammer. So what they want to do, the cheapest way for them to do it, is to blacklist this whole server. When they blacklist this entire server, your deliverability, no matter what your spin tax you do, no matter how good your lead lists are, no matter how good your scripts are, it's not going to work. So really bad deliverability if you use a public email sequencer. It might not happen today, but you might get blacklisted maybe 2 months from now, or 1 month from now, or maybe like 1 week from now, right? It can happen at any time. The solution, again, very simple, right? You want to use a private email sequencer. So private email sequencers are a little bit newer. So it's not very publicly on the market just yet, but we use a private email sequencer. Essentially how it works is very simple, right? It's just you on that private server. It's not no other people on it. Only people you approved sending on that server to these leads. When you have a single funnel just like this, you can absolutely ensure your deliverability, right? When it comes to private email sequencers, if you guys are looking for one, hit us up. We can probably help you guys out. We know a couple of providers. We also have one ourselves, so this is definitely something that we can refer you guys to and give you guys guidance on. But again, all of the guides I've just shown you, if you guys follow these 3 simple steps, you guys will be okay sending these cold emails. It's very, very possible, depending on volume, to book a lot of calls. 150 calls, it's really not that hard to book. Like if you look at here, it's ridiculous. This is honestly ridiculous. So reach out to if you guys need any help.